ancient Egypt. Land of great pyramids, stunning artwork, commanding pharaohs, and powerful empires. Egypt, above all ancient civilizations, has captured our fancy with its spectacular iconography and cultural charisma.
See the
But
face
even
in
as
his
the
face.
ancient Egyptians proclaimed their power to the world, they buried a shocking secret about their reign. They erased from history the story of a subordinate kingdom from the south that rose up, overthrew their masters, and ruled as pharaohs of Egypt themselves. These conquerors were the Kushites, a civilization of builders, gold workers, and warriors from what is now Sudan.
The fact that Kush was...
Now pause here for a second. Now you see them talking about the Kushites, or as you will now realize are the Nubians, or the pure blue-black skin, beautiful, dark, extremely pigmented people that you see coming out of Africa, and that they threw over their so-called masters in the 25th century, in the 25th dynasty, supposedly. No, it's not. It's more complicated than that. What actually happened is that around this time frame, pharaohs were fighting amongst each other for power, and the reason for this is because this was around the arc cycle in which the kingdoms of the pharaohs were going to fall. The reason for this is because the pharaohs violated the 42 laws of Ma'at. Here they teach you a lie about us trying to enslave each other or something along those lines. That is incorrect. What actually happened here is that basically what happened is that people would see supposed hieroglyphs of Negroid people being enchained by other Negroid people. And this is actually false. What happened is that there's something called POWs, prisoners of war. Regardless of what race you are, even if you're fighting amongst your own kind, if you beat one of the kings and you're one of the kings yourself, but you guys happen to look the same, you're going to want to imprison the individuals who try to fight against your empire. Hence the word prisoner of war. Those were prisoners of war, not slaves. And some of those prisoners of war, if they did right, they got freed and became part of that empire, the opposing empire in which they fought. So these fools making this documentary talking about us going up against each other and is trying to enslave each other is complete blasphemy. And when you watch the television series or the web series called Black in Latin America, they tell you the same bullshit notion. These guys are some sellouts. They try to tell you that we try to enslave each other when that's complete bullshit. What actually happened is that when we fought amongst each other, since we happen to look the same and we're brothers in arms, we happen to look the same, when we fought each other, we had no choice other to chain down the guys that tried to attack our empire. We wasn't looking at it as some kind of racial debacle or something along those lines. It was just, you're the king and I'm a king. We both have opposing lands. We're both about to fight each other because we have issues. I'm gonna try to kill you. You're gonna try to kill me. It's that simple. It was nothing about no race or anything along those lines. So what you're gonna see here is a bunch of lies and stuff like that for you guys that don't understand. When we violated the 42 laws of Ma'at, which the creator told us not to do, that's around the time frame where things started getting real bad in Egypt, or so called. So we used to call Kemet, where we violated Ma'at. But this was towards the end. It was the 25th dynasty, around that time frame. So let's continue.
able to conquer Egypt is really a David and Goliath story.
Yet today, Kushites have been all but forgotten. Why? Because of the color of their skin. These were dark-skinned Africans, vilified by the ancient Egyptians and slandered as savages by colonial-era archaeologists.
This is all bullshit, people. It's all
They
bullshit.
show them as people tied and bound on the bottom of the king's shoes.
So it really was a kind of a racial profiling.
No, it was not. Goddamn sick
Now,
bastards.
After centuries of
A lot of
tradition,
these people are sellouts
the
that you see
incredible
doing these
story of the
documentaries.
Kushite
A lot of these people are
is finally
sellouts.
coming to light. More enlightened archaeologists are digging their history from the sand and the sky.
How does it look? Still intact?
It's actually a tiny bit scary. Don't drag that rope!
Science is revealing the inside story of the Black Pharaohs who brought Egypt to its knees.
Yes, the boys did fight amongst each other, but it was not about no type of slavery. These people are ridiculous, man. I'm just doing this documentary rehash or trying to expound some knowledge on the bullshit that they throw at you guys with these documentaries, because this is ridiculous.
This program was made possible in part by contributions to PBS stations from viewers like you. Thank you.
Go screw yourself.
This
It's ridiculous.
is the Royal Kush Cemetery of El Kuru in northern Sudan. The Kush answer to Egypt's Valley of the Kings. Many rulers of Kush were buried here, making it one of the few places to learn about their lives.
Also, another thing, anytime they try to uplift the Negro in America by making a documentary, they always have to shit on them at the end. Has anybody not noticed that? The reason for this is because of the shadow government and the shadow government and the long-lived hidden societies, which people do not know anything about. They practice the indoctrinated thinking pattern of holding the black man back. And the reason why they do this is because they need racial tensions in this country to go to its maximum level, its optimum level. They want to destroy certain things, and that information is dealing with occult-based knowledge and things of this nature. But you guys have to understand, these people did not enslave each other. They fought against each other. Whoever lost became prisoners of war. Simple. And actually, a lot of these prisoners of war actually got freed and actually became part of that dynasty, the opposing dynasty in which they fought against. So this is complete nonsense. These people are sellouts. Do not take some of these documentaries. If you see any of these documentaries try to bring down the Negroid people of Egypt, please try to understand. These people are sellouts and they have bad intentions in mind.
And how they managed to conquer Egypt. That's what attracted archaeologist Jeff Emberlin. At a pyramid called Ku-1, Jeff's team is moving 50 tons of earth to expose a royal tomb beneath. Inside, they hope to discover the identity of the king who built the pyramid and his place in the Kushite world.
We want, first of all, to find out the name of the king. And second of all, we would hope that there would be additional information in material left in the pyramid about where they fit in history over 2,000 years ago.
The Kushites left few written records, and most of their tombs and temples have been destroyed.
People racist, man.
Is no exception. Before harsh weather and stone thieves got to it, the pyramid stood nearly 4 times its current height.
Hear that? That's how amazing we are, people. Anyways, continue on.
This worn-down giant comes with a checkered past.
Check this out.
About 100 years ago, American archaeologist George Reisner excavated many Kush monuments and discovered the tombs of its most important kings.
George Reisner was an amazing pioneer of archaeology in Kush. He started in 1908. He worked into the 1930s. Very difficult conditions. and yet he managed to establish a basic chronology, not only of the broad archaeological periods, but of all the kings of Kush. He put them all into order, and it's an order that we still basically use today.
At El Kuru, Reisner got to the bottom of every pyramid, except Kuwana.
Check it out.
There, fear got the better of him. The ceiling of the pyramid had collapsed, locking its secrets inside. Having just lost 5 men in a cave-in nearby, Reisner went home. Sometimes Jeff Emberling has thought of doing the same.
When you read Reisner's notes from his excavations at El Kuru, at the end of the season, he took about 2 weeks off, and he has a little note that the doctor told him he had to stop worrying so much, and I can kind of appreciate this.
Well, let's fast
Now,
forward.
Without risk, the payoff can be staggering.
That was a symbol for Ma'at, in case you guys don't know.
Reisner recovered troves of gold jewelry and stunning artifacts.
Check it out.
Intricate masterpieces buried with the Kushite kings to enrich them in the afterlife.
As an archaeologist, your dreams are often quite vivid about what you can find in a place. And so obviously these king's burials were once extremely rich with gold and silver objects and finely crafted, beautiful
See?
expressions
The
of
cat
their
head?
religious sentiments,
Cat
as well
head
as
humanoid?
their status and prestige. So we can imagine finding all.
Like I was telling you guys in the other video about Jesus, aka Serapis. These cat-like beings existed in these time periods and came down in crafts in these time periods. Check out my videos, people. My videos are very interesting. Keep trying to put everything two and two together, and you guys are going to start understanding information a lot more.
Of those things.
Let's try to fast forward some of this stuff.
Jeff's first big revelation.
Welcome to the day of doom.
Forget all this. Continuing on.
Jeff's first become the tomb's next victims. By the pyramids he excavated, he refused to believe they could have been built by the ancestors of the black Africans of racial superiority.
Check this out, guys.
Throughout his time in Sudan, George Reisner excavated amid the rich local culture of his African hosts. He was pulling African history from the ground, but he was doing it at a time when colonial delusions of racial superiority crippled his scientific judgment. Even as he was awed by the pyramids he excavated, he refused to believe they could have been built by the ancestors of the black Africans he saw all around him.
See? Racism ties with all these documentaries, a lot of these documentaries, not all.
Seem to have clouded his eyesight. In 1916, when he discovered beautiful black granite statues of
Check it
great
out.
Kushite kings, he argued they were not real likenesses. Instead, he proposed that the kings and the builders of all the Kushite monuments had actually been light-skinned foreigners.
I think it just challenges so fundamentally some of his personal views about what people in the Sudan were capable of, and that he finds it really difficult to suddenly read the evidence. Such a huge challenge that he can't get over it.
Reisner's writings about the Kushites are a window into his warped racial beliefs.
Of course. Sick bastard.
Its very race appears to be a product of its poverty and its isolation. A Negroid Egyptian mixture fused together on a desert riverbank, too far away and too poor to attract a stronger and better race.
Reisner wasn't the last, or the first, to disparage the Kushites.
See, sick people, man. Sick motherfuckers, man.
Until recently,
Look at
most
this.
archaeologists thought Kush, often called Nubia, was nothing more than a subject state within Egypt's empire, a source for gold in peacetime, and slaves during war.
See, this is what they show you. Bullshit.
It was an image first
These are not
cultivated by the
slaves.
Egyptians themselves, who had an often volatile relationship